Pena taking a lot of time. I think he's finally ready. It could be a record. Has been working with Carlton Fisk. Again, Viola, a little toss over to first base, trying to keep Wilson. Honest, he's not really got a major lead there. Now he's got his foot on the turf. Ball one. An aggressive runner at third in Rex Hudler. Cardinals have all the plays, all the base running plays. You got a left-handed pitcher on the mound. Sometimes the guy at first could take a little bit of lead and try to draw a throw, and the guy at third takes off at the same time. Hard shot. Fine play by Howard Johnson, and he gets the lead runner at second. And Frank Viola and the Mets do get out of the inning, but not before the Cardinals put up a 3 spot. And after 4, it's the Mets 5 and the Cardinals 3. It's Geronimo Pena. He stays in the game at second base. And Ralph, who's on the mound?
Scott Terry's on the mound. He's 0-0. His earned run average of 1.52. His 21st game. He's worked 29 2/3 innings, giving up 28 hits and 1 home run. But that 1 home run, a big one, as the Mets on the pinch hit home run by Mackie Sasser with 2 men on base went out in front of the St. Louis Cardinals and won the ball game 10-5. And that home run putting the Mets up by a score of 8-5 in that ball game, as Sasser got his second career pinch hit home run and also his second pinch hit home run of the year. Mets lead the major leagues in pinch hit home runs this year with 5. Carrion has 3. Sasser has 2.
McReynolds leading off the top of the 5th inning. Takes strike 1. Mets ahead by 2.
Reynolds right up on top of that plate, and ever since he has moved up there, he has been hitting very well.
Ground ball to third. Todd Zeile to Guerrero, 1 down. He has made an awfully smooth adjustment. Only 3 errors on the season so far for Todd Zeile. Again, he's on the turf half the time. In fact, more than that. I would say about 65% of the time he's on AstroTurf.
But he's looking at the game from an entirely different angle. 180-degree difference.
Infield extremely deep, especially Pena at second base. Playing Howard Johnson to pull. Little chopper, but bouncing foul. Scott Terry off that mound awfully quickly. Howard has flown out to the warning track in deep left center and flown out to center, so both times Rex Hudler has snagged the ball. For a while there, it was looking like the Mets had a comfortable lead. They were ahead by 5 in the top of the 4th. The Cardinals came back with a 3-run inning in the bottom of the 4th. Up and in. All on a strike. Breaking ball outside, 2-1. Todd Zeile playing very, very deep at third base and way off the line for Howard Johnson. Guess you could say they're conceding the bunt, eh, Ralph?
I think they'd like to see him bunt. They want to keep him in the ballpark.
Hard shot to first. Guerrero, nice play, takes it himself, 2 down. It's going to bring up Ubi Brooks. Ubi, a home run in the second. Doubled and scored in the 4th, 2 for 2. takes a strike. Fans, we'd like to remind you that Mets baseball is brought to you by Manufacturers Hanover, where your money has power. And UB Brooks has displayed that power tonight. A home run over the center field fence, and then a double over Rex Hudler's head in center. A ball and a strike, 2 down to UB Brooks. Hard ground ball. Ozzie backhand, long throw on the turf. Gets him. So 3 up, 3 down for the Mets in the top of the 5th inning. On the Chevrolet scoreboard, it's New York 5 and St. Louis 3. We'll be back. Bottom of the 5th, Mets leading 5-3. It'll be the top of the order for the St. Louis Cardinals, Bernard Gilkey. Ball 1 from Frank Viola. Gilkey has singled, then he got picked off, and then he grounded into a double play his next time up. So it has not been an exceptional offensive night for Gilkey so far, although he does have a hit. St. Louis, the #1 hitting team in baseball coming into this game. They were tied with the Atlanta Braves with a .267 batting average. 2 balls and a strike to Gilkey. High fly ball, plenty room in center field. Shortstop Elster going way out there and making the play. That looked a little unusual, Ralph?
The ball was up there for a long time, and Elster has good range and goes back so well. He's a lot like Ozzie Smith in that department. But Gilkey putting that ball up there a long time. It's a tougher play for Elster than it would be for McReynolds, but Elster says, I got it all the way. So if he makes the call first, let him have it.
Ozzie Smith 1 for 2. Up and in by Frank Viola. Last time Smith hit a single just out of the reach of Magadan. Hit a pitch down and away the other way. So Mr. Viola says, I don't like you leaning out over the plate that far. Ozzie fouls it back, 1-1. All part of the game.
They make you earn what you get.
Yep. Another pitch up and in. 2 balls and a strike. Just catching the outside corner. Smith not leaning out over the plate on that one, Ralph.
He really has to pitch in tight. If he gets you in tight with that fastball, he then makes that off-speed changeup that breaks like a screwball much more effective.
2-2. There's the changeup, and Ozzie Smith, a great job in hitting, slaps the ball down the line. It's going to be at least a double. UB Brooks fields it well, cut off to Jeffries, and Ozzie Smith a 1-out double.
Well, you hear pitchers say he hit a mistake. This was no mistake, and how he hit this ball, you can only do it when you're red hot. He just reaches out and slaps at it. It's a perfect pitch by Frank Viola, and he hits it down the right field line for a double. Ozzie now against the Mets has had 9 hits in his 16 at-bats against them this year. Came into this game hitting .333. He's now 2 for 3, and he is having some sort of year, and a year where the Cardinals have to make a decision whether to take up his option.
He also has 16 stolen bases. So Viola, who has a long move to home plate, has to keep him honest at second base. Ground ball is short. Elster has it. Nice play. The throw on the turf. Scooped by Magadan. 2 down.
Good play by Elster as he uses the Ozzie Smith approach, throwing to first base, bouncing the ball over there. Something they do on purpose on the AstroTurf. Ozzie, of course, on base as a result of some outstanding hitting. Right here, Frank Viola, after being in under his chin, Ozzie's chin with a fastball, goes outside with the changeup. And then Ozzie on the changeup on the next pitch hits it down the right field line.
So 2 down, a fastball into Guerrero. Infield, very deep as it should be, trying to keep the ball in the infield. We told you Guerrero, a very good hitter with men in scoring position.
Guerrero really goes with the pitch with men in scoring position. He does not try to pull the ball. And he's one of the best RBI men in the National League.
Chopper to short. Long throw for Elster. In the dirt, Magadan can't hold on, and Ozzie Smith is going to come in to score. We've talked a number of times about Elster not having that zip, throwing the ball over first base twice in a row. He threw the ball one hop to Dave Magadan.
Well, the Mets lead the league in errors, and right here is another big error as it allows an unearned run to score. It would have been the end of the inning if the throw had been a good throw and Magadan unable to dig it out. So now the Cardinals have the time run at first as Smith comes in to score the run. It's unearned.
Guerrero with the lead at first. Todd Zeal. There's a little toss over to first. Guerrero has not made an attempt at a stolen base this year. Off speed pitch, good breaking ball. Frankie V out front. No balls, 1 strike. A lot of action at Texas tonight. We'll try to get it to you as we go along here. Dave Valley, the catcher, charging the Texas dugout, trying to get the Bobby Valentine. I'll let you know what happened. Swing and a miss by Todd Zeal. The bench is empty. This was after Kevin Brown hit Valley with a pitch. There was a triple play in that game already. Seattle turned in a triple play in the 2nd inning. The Rangers, they've been hot. Valley charged the dugout, not the mound. Popped up toward right field. Brooks coming in. Plenty room. And he's got it for the 3rd out. The Cardinals will strand 1, but they score 1 on the error. And after 5, the Mets lead by 1, 5-4. It'll be Rick Cerrone, Kevin Elster, and the pitcher Frank Viola. Top of the 6th inning. Mets ahead 5-4. There's a strike. Buddy Harrelson watching his pitcher Viola. He has struggled the last couple of innings. Of course, the error hurt him that time in the bottom of the 5th. Fly ball. Second baseman drifting back. Geronimo Pena has it for the 1st down. Viola went 7 1/3 innings on a very hot day in Chicago. Put those things in the back of your mind when you're the manager. Viola grabbing a bat. He'll come out to the on-deck circle. Nobody warming for the Mets, so Frankie V is going to stay in this ball game. Elster has walked and lined out to left. Off the end of the bat to Guerrero. He takes it himself. The 2nd out. So a quick inning going for Scott Terry. He was 3 up, 3 down in the 5th. Buddy Harrelson with his pitching coach. Mr. Stottlemyre standing next to him. Sid Fernandez throwing to Mel Stottlemyre. Sid throwing off the mound today. Sid was feeling very good about himself. Viola, a little chopper to short. So a very quick inning for the Cardinals in the top of the 6th. So after 5.5, it's still the Mets 5 and the St. Louis Cardinals 4. We'll be back after these messages.
Mets baseball is brought to you in part by the New York Times. Read Joe Sexton's coverage of the Mets only in the New York Times. And by GE. From satellites to medical systems, we bring good things to life.
Bottom of the 6th inning. Mets ahead 5-4. The Rex Hudler, Tom Pagnozzi, and the pitcher Scott Terry. It's one of the very attractive usherettes here. Busch Stadium, St. Louis.
Great baseball franchise. Over 3 million in attendance a couple of years. Something that they do without a great metropolitan population. They draw from all over. Memphis, you name it. Lexington, Kentucky. Even from your hometown, New Orleans.
Yeah.
Well, you're here, aren't you?
Yes.
Don't forget that extra inning will be on after this ball game, in spite of the fact that Fran Healy is not here. He's attending graduation ceremonies of his daughter.
Deep center field. Coleman is there for the first out.
The RCA extra inning show with Rusty Staub.
I'm going to fill in for Francis Xavier. Juan Augusto warming in the bullpen for the Cardinals.
What else is new? He just throws every game, doesn't he?
Leading the league in appearances. He has done that the past 2 years, thrown more than any pitcher in baseball.
Last 3 years plus this year.
Ball 1. Viola facing Tom Pagnozzi. Pagnozzi has grounded out and singled. Chopper foul. 1-1. The Mets 5 runs on 6 hits. They have committed a costly error. The Cardinals 4 runs on 9 hits. A 1-1 count to Tom Pagnozzi. Mets had a 5-run lead in the top of the 4th inning. Just joining us, this was not a close game until the bottom of the 4th. This time Elster gets it to Magadan. 2 down. Tell you what, when you sit in the dugout, you have to be concerned. Kevin Elster with great range, all the moves you want as a shortstop. Coming off that operation, he just does not have any pop in that right arm.
Especially when he can't be moving toward first base when he makes the throw.
Scott Terry hitting for himself. Terry, no hits in 3 at-bats. Ball 2 to Scott Terry. It's Gary Templeton on the right side of Doc Gooden.
Has to be some concern about Doc Gooden. In his last 3 ball games, he's given up 31 hits and working just a little over 19 innings.
So although it's been a 4-game win streak for the Mets, still a cloud over the dugout. Just outside, 3 balls and a strike. Scott Terry looking down at Bucky Dent, saying, well, you want me to take? I am the pitcher. Gooden and Templeton. There's a strike, full count.
You don't even have to look in that spot. The answer is you take. Unless you're Walter Johnson or Babe Ruth, who were great hitting pitchers.
Fly ball, out of play. We'll do it again at 3-2.
Most home runs ever hit by a pitcher in a career. Wes Farrell, who had 38 home runs. He was used in the outfield. He was a great hitting pitcher.
Did he hit the home runs as a pitcher or as an outfielder, or both?
Oh, both. probably more by far as a pitcher.
Now Scott Terry showing his ability to swing the bat. He lines a single over Jeffries, who was playing fairly deep at second.
Well, Doc Gooden gave up 11 hits in yesterday's ball game. The doctor working into the, well, actually just through 6 innings, giving up 11 hits. And now Viola here in the 6th inning is reached for his 11th hit. Make that his 10th hit.
Geronimo Pena. Ball 1. Pena grounded Howard Johnson to Jeffries. It was to end the 4th inning. Came in as a pinch hitter, replaced Jose Aquindo. Ball 2. Again, Viola showing all the signs of someone who is fatigued. Hard ground ball just by Howard Johnson. Scott Terry's got good speed. It's going to be called a ground rule double. That is a break for the New York Mets. That ball just getting by Howard Johnson at third.
Well, now the 11th hit given up by Viola, and there was a chance for Terry to score all the way from first in this ball, but it hops up into the stand, so it goes as a grounds rule double. And for sure, the Mets have runners at second and third, and the go-ahead run is at second base now with Bernard Gilkey coming up, and Gilkey with a base hit. No one throwing in the bullpen for the Mets, although Viola has given up 11 hits.
Gilkey 1 for 3. Ball 1. Fastball up and away.
Mets bullpen certainly hasn't been overworked of late.
Well, they're going to finally get up. Alejandro Pena has a ball in his hand. So does Jeff Innes. 2 balls, no strikes. Ozzie Smith, one of the hottest hitters in baseball, in the on-deck circle.
It doesn't take long to get warm on a night like this here in St. Louis, so you don't have to throw many pitches to be ready.
Ball 3. So Viola with a big task in front of him. Ball 4. Bases loaded, 2 down. And Ozzie Smith coming to the plate. Mets with a 1-run lead. First walk in the game for Viola.
Viola has walked 1 and struck out 1 while giving up 11 base hits, and 2 of those 11 hits have been picked up by Ozzie Smith, who has singled and doubled in his last 2 at-bats.
Infield talking to Viola, giving the bullpen a few more throws down there. Buddy Harrelson is going to let Viola pitch to Ozzie Smith. There's a strike by Frankie V. Swing and a miss. Viola gets ahead of Smith. 2 strikes and no balls.
Smith, one of the toughest hitters in the National League to strike out. He struck out only 1 time in 19 at-bats this year. on an average, and he has in his career been extremely tough to strike out.
Well, he's got emergency stance going right now. He wants to make some contact. See what happens here. Fly ball, right center. Drifting over, he puts his hand up. Coleman says, "I've got it." So Viola gets out of a tough jam. Cardinals strand 3 after 6. Mets 5, Cardinals 4. You see Frank Viola walking with a jacket on. He's probably going to take a right turn because Buddy Harrelson is going to take him out of the ball game. This is him earlier. See him slapping his leg. Mel Stottlemyre trying to calm him down. A frustrating night for Viola. But he was a gamer. He stayed out, did all he could. As we told you earlier in the game, he had a real tough, good performance in Chicago, 7 1/3 innings. Very hot day. So it looks like Buddy Harrelson has seen enough. And Alejandro Pena is still warming in the bullpen, so he'll be coming in for the New York Mets. Vince Coleman will lead off the top of the 7th inning. There's the skipper, and there is Pena. So Zeal at third comes in on the turf. Scott Terry, an excellent fielding pitcher. Coleman, 2 hits, 2 runs scored, and 2 RBIs. Strike 1. Vince got his 28th stolen base of the season tonight. Coleman leading the league in that category. Delino DeShields was second coming into tonight's action with 21. Line drive, right field. Felix Jose there. So Coleman turns on it nicely, but gets nothing for it.
Well, Terry now has retired his first 7 batters that he has faced in this game. The Mets, after scoring 3 in the 4th and leading 5-0, have not had a base runner. As the Cardinals have come back to score 3 in the 4th and 1 in the 5th to get back in the ball game.
And they stranded 3 runners in the bottom of the 6th. Magadan takes a breaking ball, strike 1. Magadan with a 3-run home run last night's ball game. Talking about turning on the ball. Get a line drive right out of this ballpark. 1-1. He sacrificed fly to run in his first time up. And he singled off Carpenter to drive in another run. That was in the 4th. His other time up was in the 3rd, and he hit a line drive to the left fielder for an out. Magadan swinging a hot bat. 2 balls, 1 strike. Catches the outside corner. You see Magadan all year long, he's been really struggling with that outside pitch.
Dave didn't like that call at all by Eric Gregg, and as you saw just a few minutes ago, Frank Viola unhappy with some of the calls that he got from the home plate umpire Eric Gregg.
Line shot, base hit to center. So Magadan answers the best way you can by whapping another rope. So Greg Jeffries, who is 0 for 2 coming up, he's had a walk in the game. First time up, he grounded to short, he walked, and then he struck out. Jeffries 8 hits in his last 21 at bats. One down, a conservative lead by Magadan. Ball 1. Jeffries swinging a miss at an off-speed pitch.
Tom Spencer out to talk to Dave Magadan. Magadan with just a couple of steps lead, and that's not a good lead. You got a chance to score from first base on a double in this big ballpark, so you want to take advantage of all the extra steps you can get when you lead off at first base. A little bigger lead this time, not much though.
Another swing and a miss by Jeffries.
Jeffries last year led the National League in 2 base hits. Right here, he gets fooled for the second time on that changeup.
Ball has a lot of movement, like a split finger job. See Jeffries shaking his head. Now you have to set up to hit the ball to left center field. You've been fooled twice. You got to take your chances. Ground ball, foul at first. If the pitcher comes in hard on you in that circumstance, you got to fight the ball off. That's all. But twice in a row, coming off the ball, you got to say, well, I'm not going to let you get me that way. If you set up to go hard to left center field, you can still handle the ball inside. It's got to be quick. Little tapper for second base. Double play. Cardinals get their 29th double play of the season. The Mets don't score in the top of the 7th. After 6.5. 5-4 Mets over St. Louis. We'll be back.
New York Mets baseball is brought to you in part by MetLife. Get Met, it pays. By RCA Color Track 2000 Home Theater TV. RCA, changing entertainment again. And by AT&T Long Distance. All you need to reach out.
Let's check the Nobody Beats the Wiz scoreboard. San Francisco over Atlanta 8-2. In the 9th, Pittsburgh 5 and Philadelphia 2. In the 9th, all tied up 1 apiece, Chicago at Montreal. Houston getting underway at San Diego. Cincinnati has scored a run in the first inning against Los Angeles. In the American League, Baltimore over Boston 3-1. Milwaukee over New York 6-3. Cleveland over Detroit 3-1. 11-8 a final. California defeated Toronto. 4-4 in the 8th. Oakland at Chicago. Minnesota 7, Kansas City 3 in the 7th. In Seattle 2, Texas 1. That's in the 5th. Tommy Herr, he is at second base, replacing Jeffries. There'll be a double switch here.
And Alejandro Pena, the new pitcher for the Mets, he comes in with a record of 1-0. He has 2 saves, an earned run average of 3.20. This will be his 16th game. He has pitched 19 2/3 innings, giving up 17 hits. The opposition hitting .236 against him, coming off a fine performance in Chicago.
Hey, good statement.
Referring to Felix Jose, who the Cardinals got in the Willie McGee trade.
That was expensive because McGee became a free agent and is now with the San Francisco Giants. Pena, 1-1. St. Louis has lost every game on this homestand, 4 in a row. Two balls and a strike from Alejandro. Guerrero in the on-deck circle. And the Mets leading by 1 in the bottom of the 7th. Cardinals have out-hit the Mets 11-7. Jose going for an off-speed pitch out of the strike zone, 2-2. Magadan very deep at first, guarding the line, and Howard Johnson just behind the dirt, guarding the line at third. I don't know about that. Here's a changeup. Tapper. Howard Johnson's got no chance, and neither does the shortstop. Elster, playing deep, had no chance. So an infield single for Felix Jose. Third hit of the game for Felix Jose.
Well, this is a tough play to defense against, and with Johnson guarding the line, there's just absolutely no chance for him to get there before Elster, and Elster doesn't have a play.
No chance for Elster. I'm a little surprised to see Howard playing him exactly where he was in that circumstance. You're supposed to kind of protect a little bit on the line. As the world turns, the Cardinals have a leadoff single. Pedro Guerrero representing the go-ahead run at the plate. Howard very deep. The Met pitchers have been keeping the runners at first base well aware of the fact that they're checking them out. Couple of quick moves by Pena. No trouble for Felix Jose getting back to first, though.
Yeah, 7 stolen bases, but he's been thrown out 6 times.
Guerrero has hit 20 home runs against the Mets in his lifetime. Fly ball going down that right field line. It's foul. Nobody could get to it. One of the odd things about this St. Louis club, Guerrero has 20 lifetime home runs against New York. There's not another guy on the Cardinal team that has more than 2. Big changeover, a lot of youngsters.
They've changed their ball club considerably. One of their changes, the third baseman, Terry Pendleton, who is second in the National League in hitting with the Atlanta Braves, hitting .346. He has done damage to the Mets in the past.
Fouled off. That ball really hit Cerrone hard.
Knocked that mask right off his head.
Boy, oh boy.
Here's the replay as that foul tip got him flush on the mask and comes sliding off his head.
That game in Philadelphia with the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Pirates did win that game 5-3. John Smiley getting his 8th victory of the season.
And the Pirates winning their 8th in a row. They had the best record in baseball, 31 wins, 15 losses.
Again, a toss over to first. No balls, 2 strikes. And the cleanup hit of Pedro Guerrero at the plate. Guerrero only 13 strikeouts this year for a guy who has as much pop. There goes the runner. Fly ball. Up goes the hand of Ubi Brooks. He calls for it. Brooks throws back to first. It looks like Felix Jose might have pulled a muscle. He was limping coming back in. He's grabbing the back of his left hamstring. So I don't know if it's a cramp or a muscle. You see him stretching it out right there.
Looks like a cramp.
Must be.
You stretch it out like that, it's usually a cramp.
Boy, you bend over like that and you have a hamstring problem. You've got a lot of guts. See him grabbing that. Here's a look at him.
Running with a pitch, and Guerrero hits it out to right center. Yeah, he comes up lame right there. He's got time to get back. He does have to move a little faster as the throw comes back to first, but not on line. So could be a cramp from the hot weather.
I tell you what, when a guy does that, you got to remove him from the ball game, and Joe Torre very wisely does do that. It's a big part of the offense. You can't take a chance on someone getting a more severe injury. So Felix Jose is finished for tonight, but it's been a very good night for him. 3 for 4, 1 run scored. So Ray Lankford will come out, and he will run for Jose. So Todd Zeile will come to the plate with Lankford at first, 1 down. Alejandro Pena trying to save it for Frank Viola. Viola went 6 innings. Gave up 4 runs and 11 hits.
They'd like Pena to get through this inning and hopefully the 8th, and then they could go to John Franco.
Todd Zeile is 0 for 3. Pardon that. Todd Zeile is 1 for 3.
Big base hit to drive in 2 runs in the 4th. The first 2 runs scored by the Cardinals as they were trailing 5-0 at the time. Now he's back in the 4th inning.
Lankford diving back in. Lankford does have 11 stolen bases in 14 attempts. Ray Lankford, one of the candidates for the Rookie of the Year. Another toss back in. This is the 47th game for the Cardinals. They came into this game 24-22 last year at this time. After their 47th game, the Cardinals were 7 games under 500. Especially in a year that everybody felt was going to be a rebuilding year for the Cardinals. Their young club doing a fine job. Swing and miss, strike 1. Todd Zeile taking the signs from Bucky Dent.
And Zeile behind that fastball. Pena can get it up there in a pretty good hurry. He can reach that 90-mile-an-hour mark.
Lankford, decent lead at first. Not going. Pitch out by the Mets. 1-1.
Cardinals finished last year, the first time since 1918. They finished last in their history 6 times since 1900.
Here's Bucky. Lankford has a toe hold at first. Dives back in. Fans reacting to the many throws by the Met pitchers over to first. But they have kept the base runners honest. Zeile waiting on Pena. There goes the runner. The throw by Cerrone in the dirt. Ricocheting in the right field. The runner gets up. Lankford. He will get to third base. Brooks picks the ball up, throws it into the cutoff man. So now there's 1 out and a man on third. An error to Rick Cerrone. A stolen base for Ray Lankford.
That's second error in this game. And a bad break for the Mets as that ball caroms off Elster and into right field. And Lankford on to third base, where the Mets now will play their infield in for a play at the plate as Lankford represents the tying run.
That's challenging here. 2 balls and a strike. Pena, good pitch, gets by Zeile, 2-2. Remember, Langford was a football player. He's already run over a couple of catchers.
Darren Dalton, for one, scoring a winning run from second base on an infield ground out.
Say he shook Darren Dalton's molars is an understatement. Dalton had to miss a couple of games after that collision. 2-2, 1 out. Fly ball, center field. This is deep enough. The run will score easily. And we have a tie ball game on our hands. In comes Langford with run number 5. Big response from the crowd. So Viola will not pick up his 7th win tonight. So a stolen base in an error makes that fly ball very valuable. Both errors the Mets have made have cost runs. The Mets, their 47th and 48th errors of the year. Shortening up is Rex Hudler. You like that, don't you, Ralph? 2 down. Quick little bunt. Lee Smith warming. Yesterday, Torrey wondered whether he went to him soon enough. Looks like he's not going to go to him too late tonight. Fly ball, left field. Little dunker. Kind of a parachute. Hudler trying for second. Here's the throw. Out. So Hudler, being overly aggressive, gets thrown out by McReynolds. And on the Sherwin-Williams scoreboard, we're all tied 5 apiece after 7.
Monday, catch a great baseball lineup. First, Mets Inside Pitch. Then Halls of Fame Stan Musial. Next, The Art of Baseball. Then Power Stick Pen and Chase. And the premiere of Mad Dog Live. It's all this Monday on Sports Channel.
Langford's going to remain in the game at center field. And coming in to pitch for the Cardinals will be Milt Thompson in right. Big Lee Smith on the mound.
Smith is 2-2 this year with 12 saves. He's timed for the league lead in saves with 12 with Dibble of the Cincinnati Reds. And the big, strong right-hander with an earned run average of .310. This will be his 20th game. He has worked a total of 20 1/3 innings, giving up just 16 hits, allowing just 1 home run. He's held the opposition to a .211 batting average, and his first batter will be Kevin McReynolds, who made that good play to throw out Hudler, trying to stretch a single into a double. McReynolds getting to that ball and firing it into second base, where Tommy Herr took the throw and made the tag, and Hudler's out for the final out of the inning, but not before St. Louis tied the game at 5. Mets were leading 5-0. The Cardinals have come back, and it's now 5-5 as we go to the top of the 8th with McReynolds hitting. McReynolds 1 for 2 in the game. He also has walked. Cardinals with 13 hits. The Mets have had 7. And Smith's first pitch is fouled away.
It was a pulled left hamstring for Felix Jose, just announced by the Cardinals. Didn't look too severe though, Ralph.
And McReynolds fights off the inside fastball, fouls it off on the right side. It's strike 2.
You never know with a hamstring. Sometimes they can come back. I don't think any of them come back very quickly. But you can get a really bad hamstring and it can knock you down for a long time.
They could come back. You can come back if you don't have to run.
It's not going to happen here.
But this is not the kind of profession that you can get away with walking around. And the fastball has popped up into shallow right center field. Going back for the ball is Pena, and he makes the catch. So McReynolds the first out here in the 8th. Lee Smith acquired last year from Boston. At Boston, he was 2-1 with 4 saves in 11 games. And then with the Cardinals last year, he was 3-4 with 27 saves.
Well, some good news from San Diego. Tim Tuffle, in his first at bat for the San Diego Padres, hit a 3-run home run. First inning.
Glad to hear that. That's great for Tim.
You got that right.
Second home run of the year. He had one with the Mets before going to San Diego for Gary Templeton. And now the batter Howard Johnson, and Howard takes for strike one.
It's one of those times that if you're in the dugout and the guy comes, it's his first at bat, he has a 3-run home run, you don't want to shake his hand because he might break yours. The adrenaline flow will be going so hard.
Really pumped up, and that's a ball, so it's 1-1. Lee Smith with 8 consecutive seasons with 25 saves and 9 consecutive seasons with at least 60 games pitched, a major league record. Last year, 3 of his 4 losses were to the Mets. And he looks as mean as any pitcher ever looked in the mound, but he's hit only 7 batters in his 11-year career. But he looks awesome. 2-1 the count. And the breaking ball, and Tom Spencer almost gets drilled with the foul ball.
As his career has gone on, Lee Smith used to just throw the fastball about 90% of the time. He still uses the fastball, but the breaking ball, both the slider and the changeup, have been worked into his repertoire because it was necessary. You can't just throw the ball by people your whole career.
And now the pitch, a fastball swung on a miss. So Howard Johnson is struck out. And Smith has retired his first 2 batters. 5-5 game. And that'll bring up Hubie Brooks.
That fastball coming off an off-speed pitch. Tell you, that's a good pitch selection on the part of both Pagnozzi and Smith.
Hubie Brooks with a home run and the double in 3 at-bats. Hubie with 3 home runs on this road trip, 2 in Chicago, 1 here in the first 4 games of the road trip. And Smith starts him off with a breaking ball.
Good slider.
With Boston, it was either Jeff Reardon or Lee Smith, and the Red Sox kept Jeff Reardon. He's had a fabulous career. Started his career with the New York Mets, and Hubie swings and fouls that pitch, so it's strike 2.
Hubie has that protective shield on his left ankle and foot and shin. The shin guard didn't do him any good right there.
Smith started his career with the Chicago Cubs. They asked him one time if he was bothered by the pressure. He says, I was born under pressure. My mother wanted a girl. And a swing and a miss, and Brooks is struck out, so Smith mows down the Mets 1-2-3 with 3 strikeouts. With 2 strikeouts, I should say. And after 7.5 innings, it's the Mets 5 and the Cardinals 5.
New York Mets baseball is brought to you in part by your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers.
Bring the Mets stars home with you on Kenna Mets Batting or Mets starting lineup night. That's on Tuesday, June 11th at 7:40 p.m. when the Mets take on the Atlanta Braves. All fans 14 and under will receive one of the Mets starting lineup action figures. That's all courtesy of Kenner. Call 718-507-0303 to reserve your tickets, or 718-507-TIXX for more information.
And fans, on Monday, June 10th, will be Operation Welcome Home Day in New York City, and the New York Mets are proud to be part of the festivities. The ticker tape parade up Broadway starts the day, and it starts at 11 a.m. Over 50,000 people, including General Schwarzkopf and Colin Powell and other Desert Storm personnel, along with military veterans, will march from Battery Park to City Hall. That night, an exciting Garucci family fireworks show sponsored by the New York Mets and Coca-Cola will light up the sky over New York Harbor. Sketch Henderson and the New York Pops Orchestra will accompany the display with live music. And don't forget, the fireworks start at 9 p.m. So be sure to be part of this very special celebration. June 10th. Bottom half of the 8th inning. Tie ball game at 5. The Mets led 5-0. The Cardinals have tied it up. And Tom Pagnozzi will be the leadoff batter for the Cardinals as you check out Bud Harrelson's lineup card.
Lots of changes tonight.
Pagnozzi 1 for 3, batting for the first time against Alejandro Pena, who gave up the tying run in the 7th, but aided by, or hurt by would be a better way to put it, an error on a throw on a stolen base. Langford, who had replaced Felix Jose, who had reached first base on an infield hit, and Langford stole second, went to third base on a throwing error by Cerrone. All getting away and bouncing into right field with Langford going to third, and then he scored in a sacrifice fly by Todd Zeile. Zeile's third RBI of the night. 2 balls, no strikes as Pena comes back to Pagnozzi, and there's a base hit. So the Cardinals picking up another base hit. And they have the go-ahead run at first here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Pagnozzi fought off that fastball in. Got jammed a little bit, hit it in the right location. See him coming inside out there. So we will see if Joe Torre puts the sacrifice on. It's in order.
Thompson, an outstanding batter with outstanding speed, but also a good hitter with the exception of last year. Last year, a horrible year for the St. Louis Cardinals. As a regular player, and a throw to first base. Pagnozzi back.
Mets can be aggressive defensively. Pagnozzi does not have great speed. Kind of a so-so runner.
Thompson last year hit .218 for the Cardinals. And he hits a drive to center field. Coming up is Coleman, and he's there, and he makes the catch. So Thompson hitting away is out. And 1 away in the bottom of the 8th inning. Pagnozzi back to first base, and Geronimo Pena will be the batter.
Joe Torre going for the offense, not sacrificing, not putting the runner in action. A little surprised that one of those two things didn't take place there. Cardinals have been extremely aggressive on the bases so far tonight.
And they've had runners on base. 14 base hits against the Mets pitchers. They lead the National League in hitting with a .267 team batting average. And their on base percentage also leading the National League. They have a .342 on base percentage. That's base hits, walks, and batters hit by pitch ball. Pena with a double and 2 at bats came into the ball game in a double switch and another throw to first. No one throwing in the bullpen for either team. And Pena's first pitch swung on and fouled back into the stands. Big crowd here tonight. The biggest crowd of the year, as a matter of fact. Over 40,000 in the ballpark, close to 41,000. And they're here. They're not leaving. Last night they left early. Mets winning 10-5. Coming from behind to win that ball game. And now the Cardinals trying to do the same. Paid crowd, 40,839. Total in the house, 42,039. One strike to count as the Mets defend against the Cardinals here in the bottom of the 8th inning with 1 man out. The runner goes, a half swing, the throw to second base in time, goes on through. Burr can't handle it, and again it will be a throwing error and a stolen base, and the Cardinals have the go-ahead run at third on another play that gets away. Good throw, though.
There goes a runner. Cerrone up. Good quick release. The ball bouncing right by the bag. Tommy Herr could not handle it, and the ball goes on into center field. Let's take another look at it.
That ball should have been handled.
Hurd just missed it.
The error will be charged to the catcher. And now the Mets play their infield in as the go-ahead runners at third with one out. And the pitch to Pena swung on and missed. And Pena, the pitcher, picking up the strikeout. And that could be a big out in this ball game.
Boy, that's an understatement. Pena not making contact on Pena. So when he really needed it, he humps up that fastball and throws it by Geronimo Pena.
Now the infield can drop back, and the batter will be Bernard Gilkey. Gilkey 1 for 3 with a walk. Batting for the first time against Alejandro Pena. And Pena working from the set. First pitch popped up, and it should be playable. Coleman makes the call. And the catch, and that retires the side. So the error doesn't hurt. One hit and a man left at third. And the score as we go to the top of the ninth, all tied at 5. Well, we're going to the top of the ninth, a tie ball game at 5. And Lee Smith completing his warm-up pitches. Smith came in the game in the 8th inning, retired the first 3 batters he faced, 2 of them on strikeouts, striking out Johnson and Brooks. Well, after McReynolds popped to second.
The Mets had a game a little similar to this in Chicago, where they had a big lead. The Cubbies came back and tied it up late in the game. The Mets scoring, I believe it was in the top of the 8th inning, and holding on to a 1-run victory. Mackey Sasser coming to the plate.
Sasser, the hero of yesterday's ball game, with a pinch hit 3-run home run off Scott Terry. His second pinch hit home run this year.
Sasser hitting .286 as a pinch hitter, 5 hits and 13 at bats. As Ralph said, 2 home runs pinch hitting and 5 RBIs.
Sasser batting for Rick Cerrone to lead it off here in the 9th inning. And it's Collins, the first base coach, positioning the outfield. Dave Collins, who is an integral part of the St. Louis Cardinal coaching staff. And the first pitch to Sasser hit in the air to left field. Gilkey there, and 1 pitch and 1 away. So Smith picks up his first out here in the 9th inning, and that'll bring up Kevin Elster.
When you go up there to pinch hit, you're not sent up there, even though he's the leadoff hitter in the inning. Sasser, who had as few pitches thrown to him per at bat as anybody in baseball last year. He goes up there hacking, doesn't he?
Yeah. Sasser the hacker, and that's certainly apropos as he flies out on his first pitch, and that brings up a pinch hitter for Kevin Elster. It's going to be Gary Templeton, who started his major league career here in St. Louis, and he is greeted with boos.
He's hitting .193 in his time at San Diego.
So Tuffle, who had a pinch hit home run with 2 men on base for San Diego in his first at bat, and see if Templeton can duplicate the feat of hitting a home run his first time at bat for the New York Mets. And he takes the first pitch for ball 1. Templeton will stay in the ball game at shortstop as he's pinch hitting for Elster, and he swings and fouls this one down the left side. Over there is Gilkey in foul territory, and he reaches up, and did he make the play? He did not.
Very close play, almost fan interference. You saw Joe West right on the play, though.
Templeton has a pinch hitter with 3 hits and 20 at bats, but one of those 3 hits was a pinch hit home run. Mets are tied at 5, 1 man out. We're in the 9th inning. And Templeton, with his first appearance as a New York Mets player.
Pagnazzi, after being yelled at from the dugout, trying to move Gilkey off the line a little bit. There was a gigantic hole in left center, even though the center fielder was shading that way.
Templeton having some great years with the St. Louis Cardinals before being traded for Ozzie Smith. And again, he fouls it off, and again, it's out of play. Templeton became the youngest shortstop at the age of 21 to have 200 hits in the season.
Templeton over 2,000 hits in his career.
1979, he became the first to have 100 hits as a left-hand batter and 100 hits as a right-hand batter. And he takes high in the count. One, make it 2-2. Templeton led the National League in 3 base hits 3 straight years. And he fouls that one to stay alive. So the count remains 2-2. In 1977 with the Cardinals, he batted .322, second in the National League with 200 hits. Dave Parker led the league that year, hitting .338. That was at the age of 21. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and Templeton pops it up in foul territory once again. And it's over there where Gio has a play, and he makes a fine running catch. And Templeton, in his first at bat as a New York Met, fouls out.
It is a fine play. He had to go a long way and come right up against that wall almost. Knows exactly where he is and just gets it in the webbing. That's a fine play.
That'll bring up Tommy Herr, also a former St. Louis Cardinal player. Herr inserted for defense for the New York Mets and also used in a double switch. Batting for the first time. And Smith with his first pitch, it's grounded foul. Herr hitting .226, and as a pinch hitter, he's 0 for 2. The Mets with just 1 base hit, a single by Magadan, since the 4th inning. Game tied at 5, 2 men out, top of the 9th. And the fastball fouled back out of play. Lee Smith, hard-throwing right-hander for the Cardinals, has retired his first 5 batters. Tommy Herr in 1985 for the Cardinals had his best year in the major leagues, batting .302 with 8 home runs and 110 runs batted in. Also had 31 stolen bases that year. And the fastball for a ball, 1-2. Herr became the 7th second baseman to have 100 RBIs. And he became that year the first major league player to have 100 runs batted in with less than 10 home runs since George Kell did it back in 1950. But that is a long time ago. And it's ball 2, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Last year, the Mets acquired him from the Philadelphia Phillies, and he batted .250 for the Mets with 1 home run, that home run coming in his first game for the Mets. Two and 2 the count. And the ground ball to the second base side, fielded by Pena. The throw to first base retires the Mets. Good job by the second baseman, Geronimo Pena. And Smith now has retired his first 6 batters. We go to the bottom of the 9th. It's all tied at 5.
This week on Sports Channel, the Mets take their road show to Cincinnati for a slugfest with Hal Morris and the defending world champion Reds. The Mets collide with the Reds live Wednesday and Thursday at 7:30, exclusively on Sports Channel.
Let's check the AT&T Long Distance Award scoreboard on that. Now let's check out what we have here at the ballpark. Sasser behind home plate. Templeton at short.
And for the St. Louis Cardinals in the bottom of the 9th inning, it'll be Ozzie Smith to lead it off. Ozzie, the 9th man that Pena will be pitching to, and he takes high for ball 1 as he decoys a bunt. Smith in this game 2 for 4. Pena working his 3rd inning.
That's Augusto.
And there's a strike. It's 1-1. Juan Augusto in the bullpen for St. Louis, the losing pitcher in last night's ball game.
You saw Ozzie Smith taking a strike, trying to work his way on.
And a good fastball. Gets into his kitchen. The ball is fouled off. It's 1-2.
One of the hottest hitters in all of baseball, doing the right thing.
Complete ball player, Ozzie Smith, 10th year with the St. Louis Cardinals. Traded for Templeton, who is now playing shortstop for the Mets. There is Gary Templeton, who started his career in a great way here for St. Louis. This one popped up in foul territory, and it will go out of play. Doug Simons throwing in the bullpen for the Mets. Frank Viola started for the Mets, went 6 innings, was charged with 4 runs, gave up a total of 11 hits in the 6th inning, struck out 1, walked 1, and Smith fouls it off again defensively, and the count stays at 1-2. Pena giving up 1 run on 3 hits. 2 of the 3 hits coming in the 7th.
You just saw why it's so difficult to strike out Ozzie Smith. Shorten his swing up quite a bit, just trying to make sure he made some contact.
Does he hold up? And he does not. So Smith called out on a swinging strike by third base umpire Joe West.
I'll tell you what, Mets might have really got a break right there. There you see Ozzie. That's a tough call against the hitter.
So Pena gets his first out here in the 9th. And that'll bring up Ray Langford, batting for the first time. He came in the game as a pinch runner in the 7th and scored the tying run as he stole second, went to third on an error, and scored on the sac fly. Zeal driving in his 3rd run with a sacrifice fly. And he attempts to bunt his way on, pulls it too far toward the line. It's fielded by Maggott and a quick out. So 2 men away, and the dangerous Pedro Guerrero, the batter. Guerrero in this game 0 for 4.
Langford not really a home run hitter, but a little surprising that in that situation he made that bunt attempt.
And the first pitch to Pedro Guerrero popped up and playable. It's going to be Tommy Herr, the second baseman, that challenges it. No, he won't take it. Magadan calls for it, and he makes the play, and we go to extra innings. The score tied at the end of 9. The Mets 5 and the Cardinals 5. Gerald Perry now the first baseman for the St. Louis Cardinals, replacing Pedro Guerrero as they make a double switch, and Juan Augusto coming in the ballgame to pitch for the Cardinals. The 5th pitcher used by manager Joe Torre. Augusto with a record of 2-1 and 1 save. His last loss last night to the New York Mets. He has an earned run average of 5.73. And this will be his 30th game of the year. He has worked more than any pitcher in baseball over his last 4 years.
All right, Juan Augusto. As John Franco warming for New York. Coleman hitting right-handed. Strike one. Zeal in at third. Perry in at first. Coleman has hit for a better average left-handed than right-handed. It seems like he might have a little more pop from the right side. 1-1. Coleman has driven in a couple of runs in this game, scored a couple, stole a base. The Mets need him on the sack right now. Chopper to short. Ozzie has it. Quick release. Into dirt by the first baseman. Coleman holds. Pagnozzi backing up extremely well. And that is the first error of the year for Ozzie Smith.
Ozzie, he knew he had to get it away in a hurry, and he throws it away. His first error in 46 games, and that's this year, and his first error in 54 games over the last 2 years. Here's another look at it. He hurries his throw, and it's in the dirt and not handled by Gerald Perry, who is not one of the great fielding first basemen.
Dave Magadan at the plate now. Gusto has a decent move to first. Magadan bunting. Strike one. Charging hard at first base was Perry. Todd Zeal playing in already. Again, Magadan, a very good contact guy. The infield. Overcharges. No better guy to slap the ball toward the left fielder. See where Ozzie Smith is at second base. He's going to go cover the bag. Turning to bunt. Little toss over to first. That's not a decision by the pitcher. That's usually a play that is set up in advance, because Gerald Perry wants to make sure he gets a good jump trying to come in and field this bunt.
Well, the Mets leading 8-5 in the 9th inning yesterday. They had Magadan sacrifice with Coleman on first.
This time Magadan pulls it back. 1 ball, 1 strike. Augusto definitely with a little bit of his attention on Vince Coleman. Magadan waiting. Now here comes the signs. Monty Harrelson and Mike Covich finally have it together, and so does Magadan.
Good time to have the runner in motion right here.
I'm with you, Ralph. Gusto is going to try a little pickoff move. If you're the hitter and you do have a hit and run in that situation, you see the pitcher going to first, if you're really thinking, you can shorten up like you're going to bunt. Kind of throw a little decoy at him.
Good play.
There he goes. And this time Magadan gets a little piece of it. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Coleman will return to first.
The Mets in next earning ball games have won 3 and lost 2. And the same can be said about the Cardinals.
Mark Carry-On in the on-deck circle for the Mets. That is the pitcher's slot. That really not an A-game maneuver by Augusto. A ball and 2 strikes. Nobody out. We're in the top of the 10th. It's all tied at 5 apiece. Chopper. Second baseman Pena has to go to first, though. The Mets have a runner in scoring position with 1 out. That's just as good as a sacrifice. So Magadan does get the runner to second, and Mark Carry-On will come to the plate and try to knock him in. A conversation between good friends.
Carry-On as a pinch hitter is 7 for 13 this year with 3 pinch hit home runs. Overall, he's hitting .304. All of his home runs coming as a pinch hitter.
So carry on waiting on Augusto. Ball one. Ozzie Smith, who is usually the guy that jockeys around at second base, cannot because he's trying to protect the hole. The second baseman, Pena, is now trying to keep Vince Coleman honest. Way outside, 2-0. Coleman takes a lot of leads where he doesn't keep his eyes on the pitcher. Carry on, swing and a miss, strike one. 2 balls, 1 strike. The Cardinals have out-hit the Mets 14-7. They're even in runs, 5 apiece. 3 big errors for the Mets today, though. Fouled off, 2-2. The 1 error by the Cardinals. Ozzie Smith's first error of the season. That's how Vince Coleman got on. Popped up and out of play down the right field line. It'll be 2-2. Tell you what, as much as Pena is trying to keep Coleman honest, he is almost a little bit out of position. Augusto likes to throw the ball down and away. It's a pretty good sized hole between first and second. You want to keep Vince honest. Boy, look at that hole he's got. Time Augusto, there's a fake. It's way off second base now. In comes Ozzie, sneaking in behind him.
Cardinals figure it's more important to keep Coleman off at third with 1 out.
Vince back in. You can see the setup there. That was the play where if the second baseman moves off, Vince has been watching him the whole time. Ozzie comes in, sneaks in a little closer. The second baseman moves off, and Ozzie sneaks in behind and tries to get him.
Really have to rely on your third base coach on that play.
Still 2-2 with 1 down. Line shot, base hit. Could be a play at the plate. Coleman turns. Here's the throw from Gilkey. Out at the plate. Pagnozzi holds on to the ball. Gilkey made a fine throw to the plate. The AstroTurf base hit got to him in a hurry. And he made a fine throw, and Pagnozzi just really stood in there strong, and Coleman hit him.
Now this is a great play. The throw coming before Coleman reached third base, and it's a perfect throw. Pagnozzi braces himself and somehow manages to hold on to the ball. And they save the go-ahead run on the great throw and the great play by Pagnozzi as he somehow holds on to this ball after he is bowled over by Coleman. On the play, Carrion moved on down to second base. So the Mets failed to score as Pagnozzi makes a sensational play at the plate holding on to that ball.
Carry on went on the second on the throw, so the Mets still have a runner in scoring position. Fine throw by Gilkey.
Another great hit job of hitting by Carrion.
Ball in the dirt up the line. Pagnozzi kept it in front of him enough. So Pagnozzi, after that collision, bouncing on that ball in the dirt, it's impressive. Coleman had not much chance to slide around that. The way that throw brought him up the line a little bit.
Now Coleman, even though he's little, as you say, a good block on that wild pitch by Augusto, is really a strong player. And Pagnozzi took the full brunt of that blow at home plate.
He had a head of steam going. 2 balls, no strikes. Howard Johnson in the on-deck circle. Ball 3. McReynolds has been hot. Howard Johnson will be facing Augusto right-handed. So Torre is going to walk McReynolds intentionally. Coming into this, go ahead, Ralph.
I was going to say Johnson against Augusto got a big base hit to tie the game in the 8th inning when Torre made the decision to let Augusto pitch to Johnson as a right-hand batter rather than to bring in Lee Smith.
Well, Johnson hitting, as Ralph said earlier in the game, 177 against left-handed pitching. 297 as a left-handed batter against right-handed pitching. So we have the same setup with Augusto pitching to Howard Johnson. Men on first and second, 2 down. We are in extra innings. Ball 1. Sharp single by Carrion. He actually hit it too hard. The ball got to Gilkey too quick. Aggressive running by the Mets. They tried to score that run, but the throw was ahead of the runner. And Pagnozzi held on as he and Coleman had a collision. Ground ball to short. The ball hit the runner, but it was not called by the umpires. The runner should have been, the batter should have been out. So the Mets strand 2 in the top of the 10th, and we're still tied 5 apiece. John Franco will be on the mound for the New York Mets.
Franco with a record of 1-3 and 10 saves. He has an earned run average of 0.50. This will be his 17th ball game. He's worked 18 innings, given up 16 hits. The opposition hitting .219 against him. So Franco, the third pitcher used by Buddy Harrelson, as we go to the bottom half of the 10th inning.
The Cardinals will set up Todd Zeile. He will be the leadoff hitter. Let's take a look at the reaction of the Cardinals as Gilkey came in after making that fine throw. You see Hudler, one of the first guy, yelling and screaming. He's a gamer. So was the throw by Gilkey.
Hudler, a starting player in this ball game and not leaving to go in the clubhouse, something that a lot of ball players do and shouldn't do. And he's leading the cheers there as Gilkey made that great throw to throw out Coleman, trying to score from second on Carrion's base hit to left field.
There's a ball to Todd Zeile. Gerald Perry in the on-deck circle, and then Tom Pagnozzi. Ball 2. Franco has been exceptional in situations that are safe situations. Ball 3. If there have been times where he has had trouble, it's been in non-save situations. Right now, 3 balls, no strikes.
1-3 record in non-save situations.
There's a strike. 3-1. Swing and a miss, make that 3-2. Good pitch by Franco. Franco 10 saves and 11 save opportunities. Ball just fouled off. Sasser can't hold on to it. So we'll do it again at 3-2. If you're just joining us, we're in extra innings. Bottom of the 10th inning. 5 apiece. Ground ball in the hole by Templeton. And a leadoff single by Todd Zeile. Todd Zeile, second hit in the ball game.
Zeile, another big night. His second hit, he's driven in 3 runs and a big base hit as he leads off in the 10th. And that'll bring up Gerald Perry, and he should be sacrificing here.
The last time they were in this situation, Milt Thompson was at the plate. Pagnozzi had singled to open up the inning. And Joe Torre elected not to sacrifice. Thompson flew out to center. So we'll see what Giuseppe Torre does right here. Gerald Perry, 1 home run, 11 RBIs. You have Pagnozzi, Milt Thompson, and Geronimo Pena following. Little toss over to first base.
A base hit by Zeile, the 15th in this game by St. Louis.
Another toss to first. Perry has not given away yet whether or not he is bunting.
If you're home and keeping score, that ball that was hit by Johnson hit Carrion, the base runner, and Carrion was out. Johnson gets credit for a base hit.
Good sacrifice attempt. Howard Johnson goes to second and gets the lead runner. Nice quick play by Hojo.
Well, Perry, who played for Torre in Atlanta, fails the sacrifice, and Johnson a good throw to Templeton covering at second from a shortstop position for the lead man out.
It's much easier for a left-hander against a left-hander to bunt the ball to third base, but it's a much better move to bunt the ball to the first baseman. The third baseman is charging easily on all those plays, and you saw why, especially on AstroTurf. Almost picked off. Oh, safe. That was close. Franco really got Todd Zeile leaning. Pardon me, that's not Todd Zeile, it's Gerald Perry. You see the move.
He was running on that pitch. And if the throw had been low, he'd have been an easy out.
Good call by Charlie Relaford at first base. Another pickoff attempt. Gerald Perry does not have a stolen base this year. There he goes. Swing and a miss. The throw by Sasser into dirt. And he now does have a stolen base. Tommy Herr limping a little bit. Might have been spiked on that play.
Well, Perry gets his first stolen base of the year. The throw by Sasser a little offline. Tommy Herr coming up has to stay out there where the runner is to try and come up with it.
You saw the spikes of Perry hit Tommy Herr's back foot. So Herr's left foot spiked. So we have a man on second, 1 out, a strike on the hitter.
First base is now open, a left-hand batter behind this hitter.
Ball in the dirt. Sasser cannot hold on to it. So a terrible break for the Mets as Gerald Perry moves on to third on the wild pitch. So the Met outfield will have to come in all the way now. They call it a pass ball.
It looked like the ball was in the dirt. It was
now they've changed it. They put PB up first. Now they've given a wild pitch. That ball is down on the ground.
I can't believe they're pitching to Pagnozzi. They'll probably walk him now, but they pitched to him on that last pitch for the winning run at second with Thompson on deck. Thompson, a terrible hitter against left-hand pitching.
You're right, Ralph. Now the infield's all the way in. The Mets are going to play it straight away here. They're too deep in center. You really have to challenge here. Any fly ball is going to get you. Little tapper by Pagnozzi. I'm a little confused by all of this. We're in the bottom of the 10th. There's one out. Under normal circumstances, you try to set up a force at any base so you can at least get that lead runner at the plate on a force out. That's electing to pitch to Pagnozzi. And they get him. He takes a fastball for a strike. And John Franco got a big strikeout. Ooh.
Well, this is a fastball that's right through the strike zone. And so they play unorthodox baseball here, pitching to him in this situation with a winning run at third, and he takes a pitch right down the middle. So how do you figure this game of baseball? Thompson, a left-hand batter, is coming up. And he has trouble against left-hand pitching.
In the back of your mind, you have to have a little concern about the wild pitch. John Franco has seemed to have been strong tonight. A little erratic with his control. 1 ball, no strikes. This is challenge time. Breaks the bat, and Magadan tries to get out of the way, and they're going to win the ball game. The bat almost hit Magadan. He ducked, did not catch the ball. I don't believe what I just saw. The Mets lose the game on one of the most unusual plays I have ever seen. The bat broke in half, almost hit Magadan. He ducked to get out of the way. The bat did not field the ball. They're going to give a base hit on that, and the Mets are going to have a very, very tough loss. Wow. See the Cardinals coming out and shaking the hand of Milt Thompson. What a way to lose a ball game. But that's the way it is. The Mets lose in 10, 6-5. We'll be back.
Well, the Mets lose it in a very, very bizarre way, as the Cardinals come from 5-0 and tied up at 5-5 and then win it in extra innings.
Here's a play. Good. You see the bat break in half, going right at Magadan. He ducks to get out of the way of the ball, and the ball hits him on the ground. I mean, he tried to get out of the way of the bat. That is one of the freakish things I have ever seen. If Magadan does not duck, that bat's going to hit him in the head. You see Thompson smiling. I mean, the breaks went for the Cardinals at the end of this ball game. There's no doubt about that. That's a literal break, a break of the bat.
Well, the Mets see their winning streak go down the drain. They had won 4 in a row. They also have watched the Cardinals break their losing streak. They had lost 4 in a row, and it looked like this game was not meant to be for the New York Mets. Cardinals out-hit the Mets. They had 16 base hits, including that last broken bat base hit that won the ball game, and a real tough loss for the New York Mets, but at one point leading by a score of 5-0.
Yep, top of the 4th inning, Viola had a 5-0 lead. Cardinals came back, scored a few runs in the bottom of the 3rd. They eventually tied it up, and I'll tell you, Ralph, that's one of the most amazing plays I've ever seen. What do you do if you're a Magadan? The bat is going to hit you.
There's nothing you can do.
I mean, I don't think you can. I don't think you can put a tremendous amount of blame on Magadan on this play, because
no.
I've never seen anything quite like this.
Not
Watch
at all.
that bat.
If he feels that ball, the bat's going to hit him. He's unable to make the play, so there's no chance for Magadan on this play. And that's our Budweiser play of the game as a winning run scores. And, of course, if you look back to the top of the inning, Gilkey throwing out Coleman, trying to score from second on the pinch hit by Carrion, and that also a big play in the ball game.
Boy, that's an understatement. And we'll be back after these words.
Now through Thursday only, Nobody Beats the Whiz takes a bite out of the recession with spectacular coupon discounts. We've reduced prices on thousands of items in every Whiz store. Earn huge discounts on TVs, camcorders, cellular phones, rack systems, air conditioners, and the list goes on and on. Just clip the coupons from Sunday's paper and disregard all prices in our sales circular and in our stores. Fight the recession with Nobody Beats the Whiz coupon discounts.
Nobody beats the whiz.
As your car ages, it may need higher and higher octane to perform like it used to. But there is a gasoline specially formulated to control this higher octane need while providing the highest level of engine cleanliness. Texaco System 3. You'll get great performance in every octane grade. Still think all gasolines are the same?
Imagine your refrigerator with bigger door shelves for bigger bottles, with leftovers left in quick-serve trays for leftover space, more space, nearly 27 cubic feet, and a door in the door for things you use more. Imagine GE's Space Center 27.
You live in this time. You give it all that you've got. Manufacturers and overpower banking lets you take your best shot. You got the power. Something to share. You got the power. It's always there. Every day, every hour. With manufacturers and overpower banking, your money has power. With manufacturers and overpower banking, your money has power.
New York Mets baseball has been brought to you by your greater tri-state area Sherwin-Williams paint stores. There's only one paint this good, and there's only one place you can get it. The pros know. Ask Sherwin-Williams. Buy Chevy trucks. More people are winning with the heartbeat of America. Buy Nobody Beats the Whiz. For everything at home electronics, music, and movies, Nobody Beats the Whiz. By your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers. There's only one Jeep, and it's only at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealer. By Manufacturers Hanover, where your money has power. By your Tri-State New York Toyota dealers. I love what you do for me, Toyota. By Texaco System 3 gasolines. Texaco, star of the American road. And by Budweiser, the king of beers, with that distinctively clean, crisp, cold taste. Nothing beats a Bud.
Well, the Mets lose 6-5 in 10. Todd Zeile will be the player of the game, the MetLife Texaco star of the game, sorry. Todd Zeile, 2 hits, 3 RBIs, drove in 1 with a sacrifice fly, and he's our Texaco star of the game.
So once again, the final score in 10 innings, the Cardinals 6, the Mets 5. Remember, Christopher Russo is back with the season premiere of Mad Dog Live Monday night at 9 o'clock. The Mets return to Sports Channel Wednesday night at 7:30 in Cincinnati for Game 2 of a 3-game series against the world champion Cincinnati Reds. Coming up next on the extra inning, Rusty's Times guest will be Todd Zeile. Now, this is Ralph Kiner for Fran Healy and Rusty saying so long until Wednesday, and thanks for watching Mets Baseball.